So prior to getting sober, I used to have experiences that were very dark, very scary. I'll talk about those a little bit in detail here. Since getting sober, have had nothing like that, not even close. In fact, the far opposite. It's been very light-filled experiences, enlightening, spiritual in a good way. So specifically since I was a kid, and this is prior to getting sober, obviously, but as a child, my brother, who's 2 years younger than I am, he and I both had very scary experiences, as far as like a dark entity in our room trying to, when we were trying to sleep or sleeping. I remember waking up to just a presence in our room that was horrifying, and I would try to scream, my voice would be gone, so it was like, mom, I'd yell for my mom with like a whisper, and I would sit there and yell, I don't know how many times, 5, 10, 3, I somewhere in there, and would finally get my voice back, and I'd be able to yell, and then my parents would come in the room and it would go away. But that happened several times. And, now reflecting back, there was a lot of contention in the home. They were fighting a lot. I didn't really know that back then. Kind of saw some things here and there. But anyway, maybe that's what invited that presence into the house. I don't know. Moving on through life, not a lot until, maybe in my 20s or so, like, 19, 20 years old. I had a very, very specific experience where I was laying down taking a nap, and I just felt like something was trying to get into my body. It's like between sleep and consciousness, somewhere in there. And I just I remember laying in my apartment at the time and just feeling like something was trying to get into my body, and I was fighting it, saying no. I couldn't move, couldn't sit up, couldn't do anything. I just laid there and fought this thing emotionally and mentally until it went away, and I felt the presence of other things in the room. And so, I was scared enough to where, I called my mom, and she went and called somebody else who gave me a Mormon blessing. And, I did the, in the name of Jesus Christ, I command you to leave thing. Which, that all got rid of it, and it worked, or, it just coincidentally got rid of it and then worked, whatever, or it just went away. So stuff like that happened a few more times, in my 20s and in my 30s while drinking, just, and then also I just think of, actions and thoughts and, who I was and what I was doing when I was under the influence of drugs and alcohol, and just lining myself with low vibration, low energy, dark, people, circumstances, all of it. There's such a contrast to what I've experienced in the last 13 years of sobriety. So, I don't know the details of it. I know there's people, with religious backgrounds. They're all going to say, well, here's what it is. And, I'm going to get 10 different opinions from 10 different people and 10 different organizations. But I do know that it happened. I know that's what happened to me. And I just heard something interesting where somebody said, as far as taking drugs and hallucinogens and things like that, if one person is having a trip and seeing things, it's a chemical reaction of the drug. If more than one person sees the exact same thing, you've entered into you've opened up a portal. And, I don't think I've never had anything like that happen. But I just heard a buddy of mine at work who said he was at this big, was it the Running Man thing? And, he and his girlfriend both were on hallucinogens of some sort. I think acid or some shit. I don't know. And they both saw a demon try to enter her body. And they were able to get rid of the thing. But they saw the same thing. They experienced the same thing. It was horrifying to them. And so, the 10,000 foot view of all that to me is just, that shit stopped when I got clean and sober. And my family is not subjected to it. My kids have never had any experience like that. They'll watch a scary movie sometimes away from me. I hate scary movies, but they'll go to their friends, watch something, and they'll be a little freaked out here and there. My 8-year-old boy, scared himself last week, watched something stupid with his friends. But, they're not cowering in fear because there's this thing in the house that's trying to get them, like I was subjected to growing up, like I grew up with, and like I felt up until I got sober. Thank goodness. And I'm just so grateful that that's all gone. So just heard that thing about the dimensions and whatnot. It made me think about this. I wanted to share it. All right, bye.